Hey guys, MoiDawg here, and today I'm happy to announce that we are officially in Squad V3. And with this update, we finally get to play as the United States Marine Corps. It's been a long time coming, and as the newest faction in the game, we will also be getting a brand new set of weapons and vehicles, and not to mention the emphasis on amphibious warfare. Some may say they're simply a reskin of the US Army, but I'm pretty confident the Marines will have a much more unique playstyle, and we're going to be going over every single kit, weapon, and vehicle added to the game so you know exactly what to expect when you jump in for your first round. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and also drop me a comment below with what you're most excited about with the Marines. And don't forget to check out the live streams at twitch.tv/MoiDawg, where I stream a lot of Squad. The live streams are a lot of fun, so I hope to see you there. Now, to kick it off, the Marines will be using a mix of rifles as their primaries, depending on which specific kit you use, and you'll be getting to pick from the M4, the M16A4, and the M27 IAR. Now, we are familiar with the M4 already, but the M16A4 and the M27 IAR are new additions to the game. They can all be ranged up to 600 meters, but the M27 is the only full auto-capable one, with both the M4 and M16A4s having only semi and 3-round burst fire modes. If you've ever played with the US Army, you know the M4, but the Marine version has all carry handle optics. The M27, however, looks a lot more similar to the M4A1. It does have a bit deeper or punchier sound, I think, when it's fired, but for the most part, it sounds and acts similar to the other American rifles, which is to be expected. It is, however, the only American rifle in game that has a bipod attachment. In addition to the primaries, the Marine Corps will also have the M9A1 pistol as a sidearm, which is now a faction exclusive when compared to the US Army. In the past, non-squad leader kits like medics and machine gunners for the US Army were equipped with the M9A1 as well, but now all US Army personnel will be using the M17. It's a nice change and makes the Corps feel that much more unique instead of simply a copy-paste faction. The standard grenade for the faction is the M67 fragmentation grenade. Binoculars are all the same field binos that you see in all Blue 4 factions. And finally, each Marine is also equipped with the standard OKC-3S bayonet. Starting with the squad leaders, SL1 has the M16A4 with iron sights and a vertical grip, pistol, and 2 grenades. SL2 has the M27 IAR with iron sights and a bipod, a pistol, and 1 grenade, and the SL3 kit has the M16A4 with M150 optic and a vertical grip, a pistol, and 1 grenade. This is actually the first squad leader kit in the game that doesn't have the ability to have a red dot. And SL2 with the M27 IAR is actually the first American SL kit to also have a bipod. It's a really unique and kind of odd choice, if I'm being honest, to give a bipod but no optic to the M27 SL. My initial thoughts, though, are that not having an M27 option with a long-range optic is really a mistake, since I would love to use this on more maps, and iron sights only just don't really cut it at times. Still, the ability to turn this into a weapon that can quickly lay down some accurate suppressing fire is extremely nice, and the iron sight picture is still really clear. All SLs also have binos and red, white, and blue smoke. For all the crewmen and pilot roles, they have the standard M4s with repair kits and pistols, just like every other faction and squad. Now for the medics, or should I say corpsmen, since this is the Marine Corps, we have 2 options, both with the M16A4. Corpsman 1 has iron sights and a vertical grip, 1 grenade and binos, while Corpsman 2 has the M150 optic, no grenade, and no binos. They are both also equipped with the M9A1 pistol, red and white smoke, 9 bandages, and of course the med pouch. Additionally, when downed, players will now call for a corpsman instead of a medic.
Corpsman, get over here! Corpsman, over here! Get Doc up here! I'm hit!
This is once again a really nice attention to detail, and I would love to see this button down here say corpsman instead of medic, but I can't really complain since that's such a minor thing. For Rifleman, just like the squad leader kits, we have no red dot options, with the Rifleman 1 kit having the M16A4 with iron sights and a vert grip plus 2 grenades, Rifleman 2 having the M4 with iron sights and a vert grip plus 2 grenades as well, and Rifleman 3 having the M16A4, M150 optic, and vertical grip plus 1 grenade. This is actually the second Rifleman kit in the game with long range optics and a vertical grip, since that is typically reserved for squad leaders. The Aussies have them with their EF88s, and personally, the Aussies are an absolute pain to fight against because of the increased accuracy. When up against them, understand that the average Marine Corps rifleman will be a much better shot due to this increased stability. For automatic riflemen, we have two options: the squad role and the fire support role. The first kit has the M27 IAR with the SDO optic, a bipod, and standard 30 round mag. I actually really like this kit since you can essentially just play as a rifleman. And although you don't have that ammo bag, the quick transition from a standard rifle to a support weapon is extremely nice. I also really like this SDO sight picture, and I'm sure someone will always be picking this kit in every single Marine squad when you're in game. For the fire support automatic rifleman kit, we have the M249 SAW with a 100 round box. And although this is a pretty standard Blue 4 kit, the Marines do keep that SDO optic we saw with the M27, making it feel once again a bit more unique to the faction. Both kits don't have grenades, but the SAW does have that M9A1 pistol for sidearm. The Grenadier kit has the M16A4 with M203 grenade launcher and M150 optic and can fire high explosive dual purpose or smoke grenades up to 250 meters. Like the US Army Grenadier, high explosive dual purpose rounds are much more than just fragmentation and can do slight damage to lightly armored vehicles and tires. For light anti-tank, Lat 1 has the M4 with iron sights, AT4, 2 grenades, and binos, while Lat 2 has the M16A4 and M150 optic, the Law, and 2 grenades. The Marine Corps Marksman is equipped with the M38 DMR and the M9A1 for a sidearm. Essentially, the M38 is a modified Marksman variant of the M27 IAR. It has an 8-time loopholed optic and a bipod and can be ranged up to 1,000 meters. Personally, I like this much more than the M110, and having a standard 30 round magazine to go with it will make this much more viable in a firefight. Marksmen are supposed to stay with their squad, and I think this kit will really shine in that capacity. For the heavier weapons, the machine gunner will have the M240G with the MGO optic and a 75 round box, as well as a pistol. I actually much prefer this sight picture when compared to the US Army's M145, since the M240 is already a laser, and essentially slapping on an ACOG should make this a much more deadly weapon. It's extremely fun to shoot, and I can find myself being much more accurate than the US Army M240. For heavy anti-tank, we once again get the choice between the M4 and the M16A4, but both with iron sights and binos, so between Hat 1 and Hat 2, it really just comes down to which rifle you prefer. Now, for the anti-tank weapon, although many of us thought the Marines would be getting the Javelin, hats come equipped with the Mark 153 SMA. The SMA has 3 fire modes: a high explosive tandem round, a high explosive dual purpose round, and also a unique spotting round. There are 3 6-round spotting magazines that you can select and then fire a small tracer round to see if you will actually hit your target. As funny as this is, it's actually really clever, and before anyone asks, yes, you can actually do damage with this round if it hits a player. I will say though that I think this is probably one of the weaker hat kits in the game. Both rifles have no option to use a full auto fire mode, and the SMA itself cannot range past 100 meters. Yes, you can manually aim with the ticks here to 700 meters, but you don't have that same smaller adjustment ability like the Carl Gustaf. Overall, the SMA is still really fun to shoot, I just wish I could range it a bit further. To wrap it up, the Marine Combat Engineer comes equipped with the M16A4 and iron sights, C4, an AT mine, sandbags, razor wire, a repair kit, and binos. Now, moving on to the vehicles, this is where the Marines completely differentiate themselves from the US Army, starting with the Essex. Okay, so the USS Essex isn't a player-controlled vehicle, but it does look pretty damn awesome and is a deployment point on the new map Black Coast, as well as the brand new Pacific Proving Grounds, which you can access in the training tab on the main menu. The Essex has 2 helicopter pads and an area below deck so that you can deploy amphibious vehicles. For deployment, the west will always put you up top, and east will put you down below. And although I know it might not be possible just yet, just seeing this thing in the water makes me think of old school Battlefield 1942, where players could pilot destroyers and aircraft carriers. And man, would I love to see that capability in squad. Now, something that you can sail, the Marines will have the Rigid Hull Inflatable Boat, or RIB, and it comes in 3 variants: Transport, 50 cal, and Logi. The Logi variant can carry up to 1,400 supplies and 8 Marines, with Transport and 50 cal variants carrying upwards of 10 personnel. If you're in the Essex and trying to deploy in the RIB, turning on the engine will cause the boat to drop down and then you're out on the water. And since this water is fully modeled and reactive, it's incredibly fun to drive this thing around. If you do notice, when we hit the water, the boats and, well, any amphibious vehicle now actually has an indicator if the vehicle is in amphibious mode. If you're in the RIB and you don't see this highlighted, well, you're in trouble and you're probably beached and will need to get a push to get back into the water. So be careful if you're trying to dismount on the coast. Overall, I absolutely love these things. They're quick, they're responsive, they fit a whole bunch amount of people, and you can even dismount on top of the boat if it's standing still, which allows you to repair or even fire out of it if you need to. Another new amphibious vehicle is the AAVP 7A1 APC, and this thing is huge. It's a giant amphibious troop transport and comes in a Logi variant that can hold up to 3,000 supplies, as well as a regular armed APC variant, which can hold up to 1,200 supplies and is armed with a 50 cal and Mark 19 grenade launcher. Yes, we finally got the Mark 19, and man, was it worth the wait. There's about 50 grenades per magazine, and they do have an arming distance of about 30 meters, so do make sure to check your range before unleashing the GL. Now, although the AAVs are pretty big, they don't feel that big when you're driving them, and they handle quite well in the water. But the only weird thing being that you're actually not in the middle of the vehicle as the driver, so you do need to get used to that new view. The command hatch is also pretty straightforward, and it just looks like a higher position driver's port. You will also notice that when you do go into the amphibious mode, the wake plate at the front of the vehicle will deploy, which you will see in all amphibious vehicles as well. It's a nice addition that once again adds to the realism aspect of squad. One thing to mention though is that I did not misspeak earlier, and the non-Logi variant can actually carry 1,200 supply, with the one caveat being they actually can't drop the radio, and only the Logi variant with 3,000 supply can drop a radio. This is a really unique change to APCs, so don't forget about combat resupplies if you're crewing an AAV. The last amphibious vehicle is the LAV-25, and although we have seen quite a few LAV variants in squad already, there's just something special about the Marines and the LAV-25. It fires a 25mm cannon with 60 rounds of AP Sabo and 150 rounds of high explosive incendiary. It has a coax machine gun and also deployable smoke, and the command hatch is like any other LAV, where it only has roughly 120 degrees or so visibility wherever the turret is facing. On top, it actually has an open top 240 gunner spot as well if you're brave enough. For ground vehicles, the Marines have the standard M939 trucks in both the Transport and Logi variants, as well as the various MAT-Vs, but they also get the Humvee. The Humvee comes in a Crow's 50 cal and open top variant, as well as a tow Humvee, and you can even drive one without doors, which really makes you feel like you're part of the Marine Corps. I will say, however, it would be really cool if the doorless Humvees made it so you could get in and out of them a lot quicker in exchange for the loss of protection, since that was the original intention as well. For the main battle tank, the Marines get the M1A1 Abrams. It's just like the Aussie Abrams, and it has a driver, gunner, and command seat. It can hold 21 rounds of AP Sabo and heat, as well as a coax machine gun and defensive smokes. The command hatch does have a stabilized 50 cal, but unlike the US Army M1A2 Abrams, there is no open top machine gun spot. Apart from that, if you ever used the Abrams, this is exactly the same. For aircraft, the Marines have the UH-1Y Super Huey, an extremely small helicopter with only 900 supply capacity. It has two 240 door gunners, and the co-pilot has the ability to operate a completely independent camera. This is a huge addition to the vehicle since in the past, co-pilots were basically useless, or they would simply hop on a machine gun for most of the round. With this camera, co-pilots now have a 360-degree stabilized view to help spot for their team. Although pilots still have their landing cam, this co-pilot camera is so much better. And with how quick and mobile the Super Huey is, I can see this as being a really big force multiplier if you do have a good chopper crew. And to wrap it up, although you can't fly it yourself, the Marine Corps commander has the ability to call in an FA-18 Hornet for a rocket strike in addition to command artillery. Overall, the Marines are a really fun addition to squad, and the infantry kits plus unique reliance on amphibious vehicles makes for a really fun playstyle. But what do you guys think? Are they different enough from the US Army? Do amphibious vehicles look fun? And what's your pick for the best kit or vehicle the Marines have? Let me know in the comments below, and if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. But that's it for me. Until next time, peace.